Hey, Good Life Riders, welcome back. It is time for another 5-Minute Friday. Today we are going to talk about what kind of bike you should get for a new rider. So there are lots and lots of bikes out there and lots of ways that you could go for a bike. Initially, when I started riding way back, I had about a 350 regular sitting upright kind of motorcycle. And then when I got back into riding again, I got a Kawasaki ZR7, and it's kind of a cross between a crotch rocket and I would kind of consider it a standard bike. You sit pretty upright, your legs are tucked underneath you, I don't know, kind of like this, but and it initially had no fairing or anything on it. And that was an okay kind of bike to start with, except for the fact that the type of riding you do in where I live is very much long distance straightaway kind of stuff like this. And I didn't feel that was really the best bike for my starting. But before that, when I was in the service, when I had a bike, I kind of had a bike kind of like that. I think it was a Yamaha, and it was a 600. That was really my first bike that I rode a lot as my daily rider for about, I would say 6 months, maybe even a year. So if you're a new rider, I kind of feel like the best bike seating position is one that you're straight up with your legs underneath you, so that you have a little bit more control over the bike. I have seen a lot of people, younger people, get crotch rockets in the 250cc range, and then shortly after that want a bigger bike. When my brother was going to get a bike after not riding for 20 or 30 years, he was kind of looking at V-Stars and those kinds of bikes, and I talked him into getting I didn't talk him into getting a Victory Vision, but I told him to go to a touring bike that shortly after getting a bike he would want to upgrade. So the biggest challenge, the biggest thing you have to ask yourself when you're going to get a bike is, what type of riding are you wanting to do? Do you live in a big city, or do you live where you have a lot of open road? And I would, in that situation, if you live in a situation where you have a lot of open road to ride, I would suggest going with a bigger bike. If you're concerned, you know, I think the other thing that really matters when it comes to buying a bike is how big of a person you are, and if you're a male or a female, and if you've had any kind of background in riding dirt bikes or anything like that prior to going to riding. A lot of people will get too small of a bike and very shortly after that upgrade, and I don't think there's really any problem with that, other than the fact that you're buying over and over and over again. But I do know some people that have gone and gotten a new bike just to get themselves confident enough to go and start. So I think upright seating bikes are generally the best for starters, and size wise I would say a 500 minimum, because if you get smaller than that, you wind up not being able to get out on the highway to ride them, to really get used to the open road. So those are my thoughts on new bike riders. In the comments, let me know what kind of bike you started on and what kind of bike you think is best for people to start on, because it really is your personal preference. So I hope you enjoyed these views of the wide open Kansas pasture land. And until next time, keep the sunny side up, keep the rubber side down, and have an utterly awesome day.